for
Yeah.
football that you have to be anyway. Now we're talking Olympics.
Under 23.
Yeah, under 23, except for three of your
Yeah,
players cannot be. So,
exactly. Exactly.
but
Yeah, you
you
guys
you
know everything.
you caught us live on YouTube to another episode of Norms Unleashed with Sam Fleischman from The Shed and Emily Dobson from GeoSwerve Consultancy. We were just talking with our guest Nicholas from EHL about the Olympics because the Olympics are happening right now, and Nicholas happens to be based in France. Emily is based in Brazil, and myself in Eastern United States in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is Norms Unleashed, where we provide you access to a university representative to unleash yourself and the norm of where you think you should go to university or what makes the most sense to you based off of what you've known or heard. I was a guest of EHL in 2010. EHL is, I will not say it correctly, even though I should. It's École, which is school, Hotel, which is hotel, de, which is of Lausanne, which means the hotel school of Lausanne, which is based in Switzerland. Nicholas, will you please correct everything I just said?
You're a liar. You told me you didn't speak French. Hi, everybody. Bonjour tout le monde. So, yeah, thank you very much for the invitation, Emily and Sam. It was quite correct. École Hôtelière de Lausanne, which was actually the original name of the school. So, Hotel School of Lausanne, Lausanne being the city where the school is based in the French part of Switzerland. We are now, since a few years, called EHL Hospitality Business School. So we keep the English name and we include the business word in our new official name. But yeah, good accent, good,
Thank
great
you.
sound.
I've been practicing 5 minutes a day to keep the streak alive. So yeah, the hotel school, EHL Hospitality and Business. I'll tell a little bit about my visit at some point. But Emily, how are things down in Brazil?
Well, they're great. They're fantastic. I'm excited to be in a geo-swerving to somebody else today. Um, Nicholas, okay, I had to do a deep dive. One, you guys are always rated #1, which I think is really cool. Two, I've watched The White Lotus. I don't know if you have,
Mm.
but I get really intrigued by it's about hotels and stuff, Sam. If you haven't watched it, it's cool.
Okay.
But I have this thing in my mind, and I want you to correct me and anybody that's listening. What is being in a hotel service all about? And how does EHL prepare for that? Like, I can't even imagine what the curriculum is, how it gets built, how it gets thought out.
Well, yeah, good question. Well, to be honest, I didn't watch the White Lotus. It's on my bucket
Okay.
list. A lot of people recommend me this series, so I have to watch one more now. While being a hotel, first of all, just some historic facts. EHL has been built in 1893 as a hotel school, and it was actually at the time the first hotel school created in the world. So the aim was to train the new staff, the hotel staff, from like every range of job in hotels, so from service, housekeeping, and kitchen, every stage, like from the directors to the first like stagiaire interns in a hotel. So it's a huge world, but it's we have to say that we have evolved quite a lot in history, being always a pioneer in the hospitality education. But now that's why we changed the name actually to really focus on both hospitality world and business. So the main difference between the hotel school and the hospitality management school will be, of course, the hotel school will be totally focused on training the hotel staff, while hospitality management school it's much more varied. We are offering and opening a huge range of job opportunities, of course, from the hospitality world, so hotel, restaurant, tourism, events, any service industry, and also the business. What's the main focus of the hospitality management is the human interaction. So you'll find in the end, you'll find human interaction any business, like in the bank, in consulting, in the education, in sports, entertainment, so everywhere. So now we have, just for you to have an idea, we have half of our students, alumni, working in different sectors than hospitality. But still, with the hospitality being the main focus, like hospitality, we like to care about the people. We enjoy being surrounded by people, knowing new culture, and offering and creating an amazing experience for clients. And I like to think that you can do it in almost every business sectors.
Yeah, it seems like and I don't stay at a lot of beautiful, wonderful hotels. Maybe that's on Sam's books, but it seems like when you're at a hotel where things run smoothly, like it's really an art. That hospitality really becomes an art. It's a whole different level.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like music, you know, everything has to be organized at the perfect timing. And whether you are again, housekeeping, the service, the front desk, in the kitchen, everything has to be right at the right time, the right place, and with the right people. So yeah, it's a whole organization, and we are, of course, proud to be the #1 school worldwide, training the new leaders and the future entrepreneurs or directors of the hospitality industry. And it's been 6 years in a row now that we've been ranked the #1 school in the world. So yeah, we're proud of that. But it's I like to say that to reach an award, to reach the top quality level, it's something significant. But to keep it is even more complicated. It requires much more efforts to keep the top quality and the excellence. So yeah, today I'm proud to be the rep for the EHL. So I did not introduce myself properly before, because I was congratulating Sam with his French level. So yeah, just to say I'm French. Of course, I cannot hide my accent. I'm French, and I'm currently in France for the summer, but I live in Mexico, where I've been representing EHL for 2 years now, in Mexico and the US and Canada for the all recruitment of the student from North America, and representing and helping them to during the whole application procedure for our bachelor degree in international hospitality management.
That leads me to, that's perfect. And then Sam, I'll throw the next question to you, but you said something interesting a couple minutes ago. You said for the right person. Who is the right applicant for EHL? And can you tell us a little bit about what the admissions process may look like?
Sure. So the right person, like now we know a lot of profile, we saw a lot of applicants at EHL. One of the common characteristic, I will say, that someone which will match very well with the hospitality world is being a people person, meaning that someone who's quite social, he cares about the people, he loves the human interaction, because in the end, the hospitality business is a customer-oriented mindset needed. So you have to care about the people, to think about the others, and to enjoy doing that. So usually the students have outgoing and active personality. They love working in a team, for example. They love to be involved in any project, maybe social work, maybe sport, in class as well. To like to team up with the classmates. Curious. They like to go out from their comfort zone, because that's always something. It's a very diverse. It's a lot of diverse activities. So usually it requires to have different skills to be to adapt to different sectors. And also something very important at EHL, students like to think global. It's a very international school with about 120 nationalities, so many languages, many different cultures, behavior, customs, like everything is very different. And we have students from everywhere in the world, from all corners of the world. So I like to think that's a like melting pot where you'll have different cultures and so on. So it's very important to be curious, to think global, to be comfortable with the different cultures. And yeah, of course, the school allows students to have to have a job which will allow them to travel around the world, to live and work in many different countries. So usually they speak already different languages when they apply. And of course, during the studies at EHL, they will learn much more about the language, culture, and yeah, business culture. So yeah, that's the common characteristics of the students applying. Of course, we have different. They don't have to be so active and so outgoing. Not everybody has the same characteristic, but yeah, I would say that's the most common profile that I receive. And for the admission procedure, well, of course, it depends on which diploma you will present. Of course, if they're from America, most of the time they're presenting an American high school diploma, but we receive, as we have 120 nationalities, we receive diploma from everyone in the world. So we have requirements depending on the diploma. So for the Americans, for example, with the American high school diploma, they need to have it with GPA 3.2 minimum. We will be focusing on the transcripts on the last 3 years, so checking the mathematics and the science subject, for example, the foreign languages. It's a bachelor degree of science, so the science part are quite important. We are focusing a lot in accountability, mathematics, and the numbers. So yeah, that's quite important. Then we will be requiring a test, so either SAT or ACT. We do accept as well the CLT, and we have minimum requirement for each. So just have to present one. And then we'll be asking a CV, a resume, updated resume. We'll be asking for a recommendation letter. That's highly recommended. We'll be asking for an essay. So we have 3 topics, and they have to pick one and develop the kind of a personal statement. They must be 18 years old at the day of the intake. That's quite important because, yeah, from the first weeks, they will be spending time in the kitchen, spending time with the sommelier, in the wine room, in the mixology. So yeah, there are some requirements which that's why it's mandatory to be 18 at the day of the intake. And so that's the first step to apply at EHL, and then we'll have some internal tests, logical test, personality test, and interview with the staff member. So that's very important to mention that during the whole procedure, all students from anywhere in the world, they will be accompanied by a EHL rep. So for example, if someone applied from Mexico, from the US or Canada, it's most probably that they will be accompanied by me. So it's a very personalized approach and holistic approach with the students.
Do you have, I'm sorry, Sam, I have to ask now, this sounds very cheeky. Do you have a limited amount of spots every year for your incoming class?
Yeah, like we have 2 intakes, and September is the main one, and we have another one in February. Because again, as we receive people from everywhere in the world, some of them in some countries they have the reverse calendar, so they prefer to start in the beginning of the year. Also, for someone, for example, who will be 18 in November, when our intake is in September, so then you don't have to wait for a year. You can just apply for the next intake in February. And sorry, yeah. How many? So approximately we have about 500 students in September and 200 in February. That's the average. And it's a rolling admission as well. I know it's a big difference from the US. So we are from the day you start your senior year, so the last year in high school, you can start your application. And the deadline to apply will be depending on the visa required. So if US students without the European nationality, of course, he or she will need to apply for the Swiss visa. So it takes approximately 2 to 3 months. So the deadline will be in late May for the September intake and late November for the February intake.
That's
if
great.
you don't need a visa, because we receive a lot of students in the US, they already have the European nationality or second passport. So that's easier, and we are more flexible on the application date.
That's great. Thank you for explaining the calendar system. That's one of the questions we always think about, those of us that live in the Southern Hemisphere here.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. You know, the last time I was on EHL's, and the only time I was on the EHL Hospitality and Business School's campus, was in 2010. And so I'm sure things have changed, but even then it was a very impressive institution where 18-year-olds were dressed in suit and ties and beautiful, like, corporate dresses, and sitting around in project-based learning, evaluating the wine that the sommelier had just presented to them, and then preparing to go make their chocolate molten lava cakes, and then present a business strategy based on the accounting of the hotel consulting work that they did in Bora Bora. That's the type of environment that I found, where students not just were, you know, multinational, interested in but were skilled in a variety of areas, and collaborative. Would you say, you know, you weren't there in 2010, so you don't know, you're not, but was it similar? Is it similar now? What I just described, what I visited, similar today?
Yeah, totally. We really see the students as the future entrepreneurs, future directors. So from day one, they have quite a lot of responsibilities, and we try to team them up. They do a lot of projects in team, but also they have to, yeah, as you mentioned, like, do projects, present projects. They're always participating, involved in projects where they will be presenting business plan, or they will be reporting what they did during their internship, because during the 4 years of the bachelor degree, they will have 2 mandatory internship of 6 months each, which means that after the 4 years of the bachelor degree, when they graduate, they already have 1 year of work experience. Being very international students as well, they always try to do it abroad. So they are already in Switzerland, but they will have the chance to spend twice a semester abroad. It's interesting as well to do it in Switzerland. Usually for the non-European students, I always recommend them to stay in Switzerland, to work with there, to get to immerse in the country's culture, in the language as well. So it's very important. But they can do internship back in the US, for example. They can go to Dubai, to Tokyo, to Paris, to London. So they have plenty of opportunities. And regarding the campus that you've visited, Sam, yes, it's very impressive. I was impressed first time I've been there, and actually it did change as we renewed the campus 2 years ago. So it's the same area, but it's bigger. We did not increase it to receive much more students, but to improve the quality of the EHL experience. For example, we increased the number of sport areas. We have now a semi-Olympic swimming pool, for example. We have a fitness center. We have paddle and tennis courts. We have more restaurants, more terrace, more space for the students for their 3 days when they're actually not free. They have to do work on their project. So yeah, the quality of the facilities are much more increased, and we have more dormitories as well, because we have dorm on campus. Usually 90% of our students are staying on campus during the first year.
You mentioned earlier, and sorry, Emily, I'm jumping in here, but you mentioned earlier, as Emily was talking about the hotels, and you mentioned, you know, the hospitality is an orchestra, and EHL is thus the conductor. The difference within an orchestra, oftentimes a bassoonist will play the bassoon, and a clarinet player will play the clarinet, and a flautist will play the flute. For an EHL student, they participate in all of the instruments. Is that correct?
Yeah. They will touch everything. There will be well, if we follow with the orchestra, they will be at each part of the orchestra. The idea is really for them to get the experience of every aspect of a hotel or restaurant. So from the front desk, from the kitchen, the service, the housekeeping, really the any job that we can have in a hotel. It's important for them to know what is it, who's doing what. And if I'm a director one day, I want to know exactly what are doing my employees. So it's very important for them. Actually, the first semester will be the first internship, will be 6 months after their arrival in Switzerland. So they will have an operational internship in any hotel or restaurant. And they will, of course, at a very young age, and they will be touching everything, all the sectors. So it can be hard. We always tell them it won't be as fun as they might think it is, but it's very important, and I would say mandatory for future leader in this field to have touch any of the jobs that we offer in a hotel and hospitality. The second internship will be more into the management part, so it's not mandatory to do a hotel. It's, as you say, Sam, they will be doing everything in a hotel, but after the second and third year, they will have some specialization to be taken. So some of them, they will stay in a hotel or restaurant industry. Some will prefer the financial aspect of the hospitality or the entrepreneurship or any event. Real estate, which is now quite trendy. So we've opened some specialization in real estate, for example.
Nice.
Great. Wow. But I like that philosophy, Nicholas. Like the best CEO started out in the mailroom. I like that you guys have that belief that you have to know a little bit of everything to get that orchestra working and playing well.
What's great is that they don't even have to go in a company to do all the operational, because in the school we for example, we use the dorms as a hotel, so they will have some workshop like managing the housekeeping of the dorms. They do that. We have 12 food outlets on site, so they will be also working in the kitchen, working in the service, working at the cafe. And we have the Michelin star restaurant, which is something quite unique in the world. We are the first school who had a Michelin star restaurant on site, so they will be working 1 week in the kitchen of the Berceau d'Essence, which is the name of the Michelin star restaurant, and 1 week in the service. So it's something unique, of course, that I don't think many schools are offering this opportunity. So yeah, before starting the internship, after 6 months, they will have an internal training, let's say.
So you've mentioned now you have several different areas of study. Now I'm curious, will you tell us, you said real estate, you've got your hospitality, like how many different things can one study or do?
Well, that's something as well. At EHL, we have a unique bachelor degree. So everybody will do the same bachelor degree, which is the Bachelor Degree of Science in International Hospitality Management, which this program is combining all the specialization. And so they will have the first year in common, and then it's a little by little, they will have some specialization, a lot of teamwork as well. So each one will be focusing on orienting his career to the sector he feels more comfortable with.
Got it.
Which is, as I said, they will have the option to really focus on the hospitality, the finance, entrepreneurship, or real estate.
Okay, thank you.
I've sent one student, and she ended up doing the entrepreneurship route. But the very first panel that I sat on was before I went to EHL. It was in 2008 in Singapore, and it was at a hotel where in EHL, it was the fanciest hotels, right, in all of Singapore. And the directors or managers were all EHL alums, so they hosted the events. Same in Hong Kong when I would go. And one of the very first people I met with and really hit it off with, he was merely a consultant. And I say merely a consultant, I do that now. But his whole thing, he left EHL because of his ability to understand all aspects of it, he then consulted, and his main thing he was consulting was on the environmental sustainability of new hotel options throughout the Indonesian islands. That was like his full job, and he took everything from the training of EHL, so that business side of it, which takes that idea of just a hotel school and strips it away and says we're more.
Yeah, that's great example. And I take advantage that you are mentioning Singapore, because we've opened a campus in Singapore a few years ago. So now we have 3 campuses, 2 in Switzerland, Lausanne being the main one. We have one in Passau, which is the German part of Switzerland, like a hotel boutique style campus, and a brand new one in Singapore. So students during the bachelor degree of 4 years, they have the opportunity again to do another semester abroad and to do an exchange semester in the Singapore campus.
Sounds amazing.
How international is it?
That's great. Nicholas, now's a sensitive part of the topic, because normally for Norms Unleashed, when Emily and I talk about universities, the cost is a benefit. But EHL is not on the low expense side, is it not? Or is it?
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not. It's the school is about 40K a year, approximately. Like yeah, that's every year I have different tuition fees, but yeah, approximately we have to kind of about 40K. We do have some ways to make it more affordable. We have scholarship, merit-based, and financial help. And we also offer the students to the possibility to work with us while they're studying. So we have student assistant, we have student ambassador. So basically we need some support from the students. They get involved in the events that EHL organize. It can be internal events or external events. They help every department as well. For example, so the recruitment, student recruitment department, we have some student assistants helping us with all the work that we have, all the events that we are organizing on site or outside, like in every big cities in the world. So they have some opportunities to work. Also, when you get a visa, the student visa from Switzerland, you're able to work. So we have some students working with us or working in Lausanne, in a bar, in a restaurant, for example, or any other business that they have. Something else quite important as well, the 2 sessions of internship, they will get paid if they do it in Europe. Most of the countries in Europe, by law, they are paying the interns. And actually, Switzerland is an expensive country, but it also the country in the world paying the most, the highest salary. So yeah, can help as well.
I was going to ask about, it sounds like your graduates have such great resumes when they come out. They get work pretty quickly. And it also,
the
maybe
employability rate is very high, is nearly 99%. Of course, EHL attracts a lot of companies, being the #1 school in the world. So we, for example, well, most of the companies, they know us, of course, but we do invite, we do like a career fair twice a year on site, where we invite all big companies or startup or new business from alumni, for example. They come on site and they will be presenting like in a fair. Like I'm sure you spend a lot of time in the school fairs, so that would be the same, but of course more professional. And it's only for our bachelor students. So they will come. Before that, we will be training them to how to present yourself, how to sell yourself, to show someone that you will be an added value even as an intern. To prepare a CV, a professional resume, to be giving it to all the companies. And they also have the list of all the companies that will come and present their business. So then they can, we always recommend them to work beforehand and prepare their resume to identify which companies are the most attractive for them. So they have this great asset to be choosing the companies and to create network, because of course that's one of the most important aspects at this age, like to create network, to develop their network at a very young age, and to know about the business, to know about the new hotel, the big brand, big company. And yeah, that's what they do. And they find an internship by themselves. Of course, they have access to EHL network, and they get to know the students from the second year who just finished the first internship, so they get in touch. I don't someone. If I have one of my students that I recruit, that we always keep in touch. If he tells me, "Oh, Nicholas, my goal, my dream is to go to Dubai for 6 months." Oh well, we have two students from the second year that just come back from Dubai, so they will get the contact, and that's a good start to look for internship. And yeah, so yeah, they have an impact and significance resume after 22, 23 years old when they graduate from the school. And most of our students are starting a job very few months after getting graduated.
That's awesome. I love this I'm a big fan of real life experience. So I like hearing about all this cooperative work and internships. I'm a big believer that getting outside of the classroom really facilitates your life skills.
Yep. Emily, you have any last questions? I'm going to go to the wheel.
While you go to the wheel, I want to, Nicholas, you don't have to answer this question, but I have this idea in my head that probably at a hospitality school, there are very sought after companies. Like, if you go to different places around the world and you go to New York, NYU Stern School of Business, you want to work for Goldman Sachs. Mm-hmm. Like that's the goal. So are there some goal companies that kids come in that they really want to work for?
Well, a lot of students now, they are focusing on the luxury industry. That's something very important. Being a luxury school, they have a lot of contacts with luxury brands. So that's something quite trendy now. Being in Switzerland, of course, it's the headquarters of many luxury brands. Yes, some. So they have a lot of opportunities to do either an internship at the start and later to be working for big brands. Another trend, I guess I mentioned a few minutes ago, is the real estate, the luxury real estate, which is something quite trendy now with the social network, with all the TV shows about it. So I know it's something which is trendy and very attractive for the young students, and still a lot to do in this sector. So yeah, that could be two sectors, yeah, which are keeping the attention of the students, apart from the hotel sectors.
Oh, that's great. Kids like to know where they're asking great questions. They want to know where they're going to land. They're looking at, a more aerial view of what their education looks like. So thank you.
Yeah, we have so many examples. We have now the alumni network is about more than 30K students all over the world, spread in 150 countries. So we have so many examples. And yeah, I always like to introduce my students with the alumni. Actually, we do work with the Association of alumni of EHL in every big cities of the world. So usually, I don't know, if I do an event, EHL event in Los Angeles or New York, I will be inviting some alumni, so they will be in touch with the potential candidates, the family as well. So they will have concrete example of what did the student did before, after graduating. What was his pathway? Did he stay in Switzerland? Did he went to another country before coming back to the US? We have so many examples, and I like to think that it's each student has his own pathway and own opportunities to create his career, and EHL will give him the global passport to go everywhere. So it's that's huge asset for the CV, and definitely have a lot to do after that.
Universities, especially those in the US, whenever I talk with them about utilization of their alumni, their response is, "Oh, well, we just don't really, we're not all that connected." And I often think of EHL and how powerful it is to utilize your alumni as your recruitment approach and strategy, because it just makes sense. And so it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Awesome
exactly.
that you guys use it so well, and you could probably do some presentations on how to utilize it a little bit better. So now we get to this section of the talk, the get together. We're at about time, but we like to have just some fun ones, and so we put together this wheel, randomized from some interesting sets of questions that we get to. And this one, I don't know. All right. Well, you've already mentioned this, and I've had food at the Michelin star restaurant. But what's your, you don't go to campus all that often, Nicholas, but when you go to campus, what's the thing you want to eat, and where is that?
Yeah, well, as I was mentioning, we have like 12 food outlets on campus, so it's like a huge opportunities to choose. We have sushi, we have the French brasserie, the Michelin star, but my favorite will be the Montreux Jazz Cafe, which is like a farm restaurant and music bar style. It's a bit outside the campus. It belongs to EHL and has been sponsored, of course, its name says, by the Montreux Jazz Festival. And yeah, I just love the atmosphere over there. It's after work, students and staff can go there. We have live music sometimes. I was there a few weeks ago during the Euro Cup, it's a soccer one. So we had good time over there. The food is great. It's finger foods, but very good. We have different cocktails and beers. So yeah, I enjoy a lot this place, Montreux Jazz Cafe.
Wonderful. Yeah, the Montreux Jazz Festival. I'm looking forward to going over to see that at some point in time, and hear that great music. And the Euros, so disappointing that Switzerland was, Emily, I don't know if you were following the Euros. They were this close.
Yeah, they deserved it.
They did deserve it. They played so well.
Yeah, they deserved it.
All right. And then the next spin, we usually do 2 or 3 of these. So here we go. And this one, you've already mentioned that you're ranked number 1 in the award, but outside of real awards, create and give your institution an award, and what would you call it?
I would say that something that impacts me a lot, being at EHL, is the longevity in innovating the hospitality education. So that would be, if I could create an award, that would be that longevity in innovating, and award of academic excellence. It has been, as I was saying, the first hotel school created in the world. It was the first school in Switzerland to teach in English, for example, to include internship for the students, to give the laptop to our students, to get the Michelin star restaurant inside. So yeah, it was always, let's say, not following the trends, but creating the trends in the hospitality education.
I love it.
Creating the Trend Award. That's what I'm going to call it. You just said
Creating
it.
The trend.
Creating the Trend Award.
I like that award.
Yeah.
It's just for EHL.
Just for EHL. Creating the Trend Award for EHL. And the last one that we'll do here, if it's not about the beer, it's going to be about the beer. I was going to say, if it's not.
Okay, I'm almost embarrassed. I feel like we should say wine. We should have switched that one up.
Well,
there's a sommelier on campus, but
the beer, cost of a beer, well, it would be from $6, like a pint of beer, from $6, but average would be around 10. And in the campus, we have some bars, and it's between 6 and 10. And the age in Switzerland is 16.
Wow.
You American must be jealous.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yep, 16. They can be on a high school campus. They probably couldn't be on the campus, but they could be at high school.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So is the cost of a wine much better than the cost of a beer?
Yeah, well, wine,
The
depends. Of
range
course,
is
we
so
have
different.
Depends
so
on the
many
wine.
different wines, so that's complicated to have a strong answer to your question. But yeah, you find good wine for very decent prices.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Well,
16. You guys, I'm blown away. I can't even believe my parents let me drive my younger siblings around at 16. I can only imagine if I could drink at
Yeah,
16, but
it's
everything in moderation, right?
of course, yeah, they do. It's moderation. And I
Yeah.
always, surprised with the 20, 21 years old in the US. I always forget when I go there. But yeah, you can drive at least at 16. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Wow, that's very cool. I love everything that you said, and I'm going to feel really bad when I get off this call and go make myself a piece of toast
just do it
in my non-functional kitchen. Oh,
she's going to walk around and think about the efficiency of the walkway through the kitchen, the placement of the toaster and the stove, the type of bread,
Everything has been taught
yeah.
don't kid,
at the
I
right
will.
place.
I will. Nicholas, you said something, and I want to make sure this is clear for others listening and when we type up the caption, but you said that students or applicants are accompanied by somebody. So where are places for students or families that are interested? Where should they look? Whom should they contact? How can they get this started?
Yes, so we have a full international team to accompany our students from the very basic question, what's the deadline, what's the cost, and so on, through the final decision by the admission team. So they will be accompanied with all the team. So if you're any interest potential student here, they can contact me directly. I don't know if you can give my email in the description, or of course, if you go on a website and you just ask for information, just put in your country of origin, you will be reached out with the right colleague.
Perfect. Easy.
Easy peasy.
Sam, any closing
and then
words?
we are in touch with video call, Zoom, Teams, WhatsApp, email, like any way of communication is okay for us.
Fantastic.
No, for me, the final words are when I think about what Emily and I are trying to do here with Norms Unleashed, which is to expand the thought process of students and parents and counselors as they look at different options that might be best for their students. I believe a place like EHL Hospitality and Business in Lausanne, Switzerland, or in the German part of Switzerland, or in Singapore, provides a fabulous opportunity for students to do maybe more what they think education should be. A little bit of learning, a little bit of work experience across a variety of landscapes to get a job. And so for me, unleashing this idea of a traditional mindset, looking at higher education options, EHL Hospitality and Business makes a lot of sense. So I hope you check it out.
Thanks for coming on with us, Nicholas.
Thank you very much, Emily and Sam, for the invitation. I had a great time with you. And thank you for your invitation. Best of